Your words about pain are music to the one who struck you. Your every sob, every "why did you do this" is a dopamine jackpot for your traitor. You feed his ego with your suffering, confirming his significance in your life. Real power is when your enemy does not know whether you are bleeding out or preparing his execution. Machiavelli explicitly stated, "Be impenetrable, like the night mist." Your silence is a psychological castration for the aggressor, depriving him of the pleasure of seeing the fruits of his dirty deeds. Stop being an open book for those who deserve only oblivion. You feel how this burning desire to speak out expands your chest like molten lead. It seems to you that if you choose the right words, if you describe the depth of your wound with surgical precision, then the one who plunged the knife will suddenly see clearly. You crave this moment of atonement when your offender realizes the scale of what he has done and falls to his knees under the weight of guilt. But face the truth, this thirst for recognition of your pains and your most shameful addiction. You feel physical nausea from the injustice your hands shake when you type endless messages full of pain and reproaches that you should never send. You feel your pride bleeding out on the floor of the room while you rehearse a victim monologue in front of the mirror. Your pain is not a sanctuary. It is a tool that you voluntarily place in the hands of the enemy. You feel how your every explanation of why I feel bad turns into a detailed map of your vulnerabilities. You are literally drawing a target on your heart for the next shot. Feel this cold sweat of humiliation when you finish your angry tirade and hit a wall of indifferent silence, or even worse, a mocking smile. Your enemy does not feel guilt, he feels triumph. He sees that he still owns your state, your thoughts, and your time. You feel like a plucked flower that begs the sole of a boot not to press so hard. This is not nobility, it is psychological suicide. Your joints ache from tension because you are trying to maintain a connection with someone who has already crossed you off the list of the living. Feel how your life energy flows out through these open channels of communication. You spend hours, days, and weeks on internal dialogues with the ghost of a traitor. Your brain turns into a torture chamber where you replay the moment of the strike over and over again, hoping for a different finale. Your skin becomes hypersensitive. You flinch at every notification, hoping for an apology that will never come. You feel like an empty shell because you have poured all your feelings outward, hoping to fill the void in the soul of someone who has no conscience. This is physical exhaustion that is not relieved by sleep. This is a mental cancer that metastasizes into your self-esteem. You feel how your value drops below the floor in your own eyes because you cannot remain silent. Your words are food for his superiority. You feel this burning in your throat, this unwept lump of tears that you try to turn into logical arguments. But in the world of predators, logic does not work, only strength and its absence work. When you explain your pain, you admit your defeat. You scream to the world, "Look at me, I am weak, I can be broken, and I will beg for understanding." Your room smells of stagnant despair and cold coffee, while you reread old chats, looking for the moment where everything went wrong. You feel how time flows through your fingers, turning into gray ash. Your potential as a leader, your charisma, your sovereignty. All of this is sacrificed on the altar of a person who forgot your existence 5 minutes after they closed the door behind them. Feel this icy wind of absolute loneliness. You stand on the ashes of your trust, and you want to scream so loudly that the heavens shudder, but instead you whisper pathetic excuses to yourself. Your eyes are inflamed from tears that bring no relief. Your heart turns into a ragged piece of meat that you continue to throw to the predator, hoping that he will be satisfied and become kind. But a predator will never become kind. He will only become hungrier. Your suffering is his aphrodisiac. He feels your scent from a mile away, the scent of a victim who cannot let go of their tormentor. This is a physical pain in the solar plexus that twists you into a knot every time you think about injustice. Your mind creates the illusion that if you explain yourself, you will close the gestalt. But you only open the door to the abyss even wider. You feel how your identity dissolves in this attempt to be heard. You are no longer a person who has goals and dreams, you are the function of a complaint. You feel how those around you begin to avoid you because you reek of the energy of defeat. Your pain has become your only possession, your only meaning in life. And this is the most terrible trap of all possible. You voluntarily locked yourself in a cage, the keys to which you gave to your enemy. You feel how you age before your eyes, how your shoulders drop under the weight of this unspoken load. Your face turns into a mask of eternal grievance against the world. Feel how your will turns into dust. You are no longer the master of your silence, you are the slave of your tongue. Every "it hurt me so much when you did this" is another nail in the coffin of your greatness. You feel how your inner core crumbles into powder, turning into a pile of trash. You are kneeling before the altar of your pain, performing a daily sacrifice of your pride. Your dreams are full of nightmares where you run after a departing train in which your traitor sits and laughs, looking at your attempts to catch up. This is a physical sensation of lack of air when you realize that you are not heard and will never be. Your pain is your personal hell, and you yourself throw wood into it every time you open your mouth. Niccolo Machiavelli, in the 18th chapter of The Prince, instructed that men are by nature bad and will not keep their word given to you, and therefore you are not obliged to be open before them. Explaining your pain to an enemy is a violation of the fundamental law of war. Never show the opponent how deep his blows are. If you show that it hurts, you confirm the effectiveness of his tactics. You give him feedback that allows him to improve his methods of destruction. In the world of Machiavellian realism, information is the most valuable resource, and giving it away for free to the one who betrayed you is strategic madness. The psychological mechanism here is tied to the concept of reinforcement. When an aggressor sees your reaction, tears anger explanations, he receives an emotional reward. In dark psychology, this is called narcissistic supply. Your pain confirms his significance and his power over your reality. Machiavelli asserted that a prince should be impenetrable, like an abyss. If no one knows what you feel, no one can manipulate you. Your silence creates an information vacuum in which your enemy begins to feel uncomfortable. He waits for your reaction to confirm his victory, but he does not receive it. This causes him cognitive dissonance and makes him doubt, did I hit the target or is this person above my blows? Arthur Schopenhauer, in Aphorisms on the Wisdom of Life, wrote that politeness is merely a mask, and beneath it lies the true nature of man, full of egoism and cruelty. To expect compassion from the one who caused you pain is to deny the laws of nature. A predator does not empathize with prey, he digests it. By explaining your pain, you're trying to appeal to morality where there is none. Machiavelli emphasized that in politics and life, there is no room for sentimentality. Your silence is your shield. It makes you invisible to the radars of psychological manipulation. When you fall silent, you take away the remote control of your emotions from the enemy. You regain the status of a sovereign who himself determines who is worthy of seeing his inner world. Consider the concept of the economy of attention. Your attention is currency. When you spend it on explanations with a traitor, you're investing in your loss. Machiavelli advised rulers to surround themselves with people who fear their silence more than their anger. Anger is a predictable emotion. Silence is a frightening unknown. When you fall silent after a blow, you turn from a victim into a threat. Your enemy begins to wonder, what is he planning? Is he preparing revenge, or is he so great that my blow is for him only a mosquito bite? This uncertainty is the highest form of psychological pressure. Your voicelessness castrates the sadistic pleasure of the aggressor, leaving him in a void. Why do you want to explain yourself? Psychology says this is a search for validation, a confirmation that your feelings matter. But you are looking for it in the most rotten place on the planet. Machiavelli pointed out that a prince must seek support only in himself. If your self-esteem depends on whether your enemy admits his guilt, you are doomed to eternal slavery. Your silence is an act of radical acceptance of reality. You acknowledge, yes, this person is an enemy. Yes, he caused pain. And no, I will not give him a single second of my life more. This is the transformation of pain into cold ash, upon which you will build your new fortress. The philosophy of the lone wolf in the context of silence teaches that your wounds are your medals, and you should not show them to those who want to tear them off. Machiavelli wrote that men more quickly forget the death of a father than the loss of property. Your emotional state is your most valuable property. Do not let the enemy own it. Explanations are a form of involvement, an attempt to maintain a connection. But with traitors, the connection must be severed with surgical precision. Silence is a scalpel that cuts away the dead flesh of the past. You become autonomous. You become unreachable. Your enemy can strike at your shadow, but he will never touch your essence if you lock your borders with silence. Ultimately, silence is a sign of the highest aristocracy of the spirit. Machiavelli believed that the crowd always craves spectacles and your suffering for them is just another show. Do not be a clown in the arena of your tormentor. Go into the shadows, become cold and calculating. Your silence is not weakness, it is the accumulation of energy for your future triumph. Schopenhauer emphasized that true greatness is always lonely and silent. When you stop explaining yourself, you join the club of those who rule the world through the absence of extra sounds. Your enemy deserves only one thing: your complete, absolute, and icy absence from his reality. This is true power. The first stage is the recognition of the dopamine trap. You must admit that your desire to speak out is a narcotic addiction. Every time you open your mouth or write a message, you receive a microdose of relief followed by a huge drop and humiliation. This is a cycle of self-destruction. Your enemy is your dealer. The Machiavellian approach cut the supply line. The pain here is in the withdrawal, in the physical itch to say everything. But remember, your every word is a bullet you give to the enemy so that he can shoot you again. The second stage is the black hole mode. Any information coming from the aggressor must disappear within you without a trace or echo. No responses, no "I hear you," no angry emojis. Total silence. In Machiavellian strategy, this is called creating the fog of war. When the enemy sees no ripples on the water after throwing a stone, he loses his orientation. Your response is the absence of a response. This deprives the opponent of the ability to adjust his fire. You become impenetrable. The third stage is redirecting anger into competence. Instead of wasting energy on explanations, invest it in your skills, in your body, in your bank account. Your best revenge is your success, which the enemy learns about by chance through third parties. Machiavelli wrote that the greatness of a ruler is measured by the strength of his enemies and how he surpassed them. Let your pain become the fuel for your takeoff. Feel how rage turns into cold discipline. You do not speak of pain, you convert it into gold and power. The fourth stage is linguistic asceticism. If you still have to contact this person, for example, for work or legal reasons, use the gray stone method. Your answers should be boring, monosyllabic, and devoid of emotion. Yes, no received. Machiavelli indicated that brevity is the sister of strength. The less you say, the less chance you will be caught at your word. You become uninteresting to the manipulator because he cannot squeeze a single drop of emotion out of you. The fifth stage is the ritual of burying the past. Draw an internal line. Recognize that the person you knew is dead and in their place is now an object representing a threat. You do not have heart-to-heart talks with objects, you either bypass them or neutralize them. Machiavelli advised not to harbor illusions about human kindness. The pain here is in the final farewell to the hope for understanding. But it is precisely this death of hope that makes you truly free. Your silence is the slab on the grave of your expectations. The sixth stage is the creation of the inner fortress. Your feelings are your property alone. Share them only with those who have proven their loyalty with blood and time. For everyone else, you are ice. Schopenhauer called for keeping your inner essence inviolable. Your silence before the enemy is an act of self-preservation. You do not explain your pain because it is too precious to soil it on the perception of a scoundrel. You keep your scars under armor that no one can pierce. The seventh stage is dominance through oblivion. The highest stage of power is when you do not just remain silent, but when you truly forget the existence of the one who struck the blow. Your silence becomes natural rather than forced. Machiavelli wrote that the best way to destroy an enemy is to deprive him of all significance in your life. When you stop explaining yourself, you erase him from your reality. Your triumph lies in the fact that you move on while he remains in the past, vainly trying to evoke even some emotion in you. You are a sovereign, he is dust on your boots. Freeze, right now, when you feel the words of excuses rising to your very throat as they burn your tongue, demanding an exit stop. Look into the abyss of your eyes in the mirror. Do you see a leader there or a beaten dog whimpering at the feet of the one who kicked it? Every time you open your mouth to explain your pain to a scoundrel, you commit an act of betrayal against your own dignity. You literally take your bloody soul and place it on the altar of the one who just tried to destroy you. Are you not sick of yourself? Are you not disgusted by this smell of sacrifice that comes from your endless "why and it hurt me"? I see how you tremble from injustice. I feel this fire in your chest that demands the world know the truth so that your enemy realizes what kind of person he lost. But this is a lie. This is the sweet poison of your ego which whispers to you that your tears can melt the ice in the heart of a predator. Wake up. A predator does not feel guilt, he feels the scent of blood. Your explanations for him are dessert after the main meal. He savors your humiliation. He enjoys the fact that you still depend on his opinion on his sorry, which will never be sincere. You feed your tormentor with your life force turning into an empty shell while he walks away, whistling satisfied with his power over you. Enough. Take this cold air of loneliness into your lungs and let it burn out everything human and all too human in you. Feel the icy wall rising inside you. This wall is your salvation. Behind it, there are no words, no complaints, no attempts to reach out. There is only silence. The silent, impenetrable silence of space. Feel your vocal cords, petrify your tongue, turn into cold metal. You no longer ask for understanding. You no longer seek justice from those who live by the laws of the jungle. Your silence is your manifesto. It is your first step toward becoming a titan against whom any waves of another's meanness break. Feel this rage. Let it not spill out in the form of pathetic words, but crystallize inside, turning your spine into a steel spire. You are the sovereign of your pain. It belongs only to you, and no one is worthy of seeing it, let alone the one who caused it. Your scars are your personal accounting of success, and you are not obliged to show the reports to marauders. From this moment, you become a black hole for any emotional attacks. Let them strike. Let them betray. Let them leave. They will not get a single sound from you. You disappear for them as a person and remain only as an irresistible force of nature. Your triumph is in their confusion when they see your icy indifference where they expected to see your tears. You are free. You are cold. You are invincible in your silence. Your final immersion into wordlessness is not just a defensive maneuver. It is an act of supreme Machiavellian dominance. In a world where everyone strives to speak out, complain, and be heard, silence becomes the most scarce and most powerful resource of power. The one who remains silent after a blow automatically moves into the category of an unknown threat. Machiavelli in the Discourses pointed out that there is nothing more frightening for an opponent than a lack of information about your state. Your pain is your insider information. If you leak it, you are bankrupt. If you keep it, you are the owner of the controlling stake in your reality. The philosophy of the lone wolf in the context of silence is radical Stoicism raised to an absolute. You must realize that any attempt to explain yourself is an admission that another person has power over you. You give them the right to judge you, forgive you, or understand you. But a sovereign does not need judges. Schopenhauer emphasized that the true dignity of a man is proportional to his ability to endure solitude and misunderstanding. Your silence in the face of a traitor is a demonstration that his actions could not change your trajectory. You are so great that his knife got stuck in your armor without even touching the skin, and you will not even deign to give him a look to check who did it. Reframing your situation, you are not silent from hurt. You are guarding the state secret of your soul. Machiavelli advised rulers to appear merciful, but always be ready for cruelty in silence. Your explanation of pain is a weakness that makes your future revenge or your success impossible, because the enemy already knows your limit. Silence, however, makes your limit infinite. You turn into a myth. People begin to imagine things for you, and their fears paint pictures far more terrifying than any verbal threat of yours. Your silence is a psychological weapon of mass destruction that burns the aggressor's ego with the slow fire of the unknown. Your dominance is built on the rejection of social empathy toward enemies. You do not have to be understood. You must be effective. Your goals are your only law, and your feelings are the fuel that must burn inside the engine rather than escape as smoke through the exhaust pipe of your complaints. Become the very person Machiavelli spoke of with awe, the one who knows how to hide their intentions under a mask of deep calm. When you stop explaining yourself, you exit the food chain of victims and become the architect of your own hierarchy. Your sovereignty is absolute when the silence around you becomes denser than the screams of your pursuers. Be ice, be the abyss, be the absolute zero in which any attempt to touch you freezes. You are the beginning and the end of your empire, and in this empire there is no room for the ears of others. Your silence is not a sign of defeat, it is a manifesto of your invincibility. The world will remember not how you cried, but how you fell silent and became a titan. Every time you restrain the urge to explain yourself to the one who betrayed you, you move one step closer to the gods. Leave excuses for the weak, leave complaints for those who do not plan to win. You are the lone wolf, and your roar is heard in the silence of your actions, not in the noise of your grievances. Burn bridges without words, win without explanations. Be ice that cannot be melted by cheap tears. Your time of greatness begins the moment you close your mouth forever in the face of your enemy.